You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Modern psychology actually proves this true. Research shows that within the first 7 seconds of meeting someone, we begin forming judgments about their trustworthiness, competence, and even likability. Some studies suggest it happens even faster. Within 1/10 of a second, we start evaluating faces. That's faster than the blink of an eye. But here's the real question. How accurate are these snap judgments? Let's unpack the science behind it. Humans are wired to judge quickly because it was once a survival mechanism. In prehistoric times, being able to instantly detect if someone was friend or foe meant the difference between safety and danger. This thin slicing ability, making quick decisions with very little information, was described by psychologist Nalini Ambady, whose groundbreaking research showed that people can predict a teacher's effectiveness by watching just a 30-second silent clip of them teaching. Astonishingly, these quick impressions lined up almost perfectly with students' evaluations after months in class. Facial cues play a huge role. We instinctively assess facial symmetry, eye contact, and expressions. A study published in Science found that when participants were shown two faces and asked to pick who looked more competent, their choices predicted the outcomes of real political elections about 70% of the time. This doesn't mean the chosen candidate was actually more competent, but it shows how powerfully first impressions influence major decisions. But here's the twist. While first impressions are fast, they're not always fair. Biases creep in. For example, people who are taller are often perceived as more authoritative. Research indicates that every extra inch of height can translate into higher income. Similarly, attractive people are often judged as kinder, smarter, and more trustworthy, a bias psychologists call the halo effect. These shortcuts can lead us to overestimate people based on superficial cues, which is why first impressions, while sometimes accurate, can also mislead us. Think of job interviews. A candidate's handshake, posture, or even choice of outfit can set the tone before they've spoken a single word about their qualifications. A 2011 study in the Journal of Occupational and Organizational Psychology found that hiring decisions were heavily influenced by first impressions within the first few minutes, even when interviewers were trained to focus on merit. This shows us how much unconscious judgment slips through. On the other hand, first impressions aren't always wrong. People high in extroversion often do come across as warm and sociable, because that's genuinely how they are. Similarly, those who appear nervous may indeed score higher in neuroticism. In fact, research by Sam Gosling found that even our bedrooms and offices leave personality fingerprints that strangers can read with surprising accuracy. So sometimes our quick reads really do capture the essence of a person. Culture also plays a part. In Western societies, direct eye contact signals confidence, while in some Eastern cultures, it may be seen as disrespectful. So what counts as a good first impression can depend heavily on the cultural lens. This is crucial in our increasingly globalized world, where misinterpretations can arise from clashing norms. There's also an emotional dimension. Think about how you felt meeting someone who instantly put you at ease, maybe with a smile or a kind gesture. That emotional resonance often leaves a lasting imprint, sometimes stronger than rational analysis. Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." That perfectly explains why emotional impressions can outweigh logical ones. So how do we manage first impressions wisely? Psychologists suggest 3 practical steps: awareness, authenticity, and adaptability. Be aware of the unconscious biases that guide your snap judgments. Strive for authenticity, because fake impressions usually unravel quickly, and adapt when entering different cultural or professional settings, knowing that norms vary. To close, I want you to reflect. Think about a time when you instantly liked or disliked someone. Was your first impression accurate, or did it shift over time? And what about the reverse? How do you think others size you up in the first 7 seconds? The science of first impressions reminds us that while humans are astonishingly good at reading signals, we're also prone to error. First impressions matter, but second chances matter even more.